Hello and welcome. So before we get into Chapter 2, I want to explain what a MacGuffin is, because Chapter 2 is basically the MacGuffin chapter. So I'm reading from Wikipedia here. In fiction, a MacGuffin is an object, device, or event that is necessary to the plot and the motivation of the characters, but insignificant, unimportant, or irrelevant in itself. So in the case of Chapter 2 here, the MacGuffin is an object. So it's an object that the main character, Nikki, is pursuing, but the object is actually unimportant. It moves the plot forward because it moves the main character forward. It is the motivation for the main character to act, but the actual object is unimportant and tends to disappear very quickly from the story. In Chapter 2, Nikki is given a clue about Leonid from a children's rhyme. And a little spoiler here, this clue will lead her to find a diamond by the end of Chapter 2. The diamond is the MacGuffin. With this diamond, she will be able to see the text on Leonid's manuscript. However, even though she can see the text through the diamond, she can't read it. It's still encrypted and indecipherable. So, plot-wise, there is no need for the diamond other than to motivate Nikki's actions. The text could be encrypted and indecipherable without the diamond. In fact, after Chapter 2, the diamond is never mentioned again, at least not as far as I've read through Chapter 6. The diamond is the MacGuffin that motivates Nikki's actions in this chapter. And even more interestingly, this chapter does not move the plot forward at all. You could cut this chapter from the story and it would make no difference. So, why did the storytellers include it? They wanted to introduce the backstory and motivations of a major character, Lilith. So, in Chapter 2, we start to learn the backstory of Lilith as Ashley, and we learn that she is abused, bullied, mocked, and humiliated by her adopted family and society simply because she's ugly. Then the story continues, Ashley's story, Lilith's story. The story continues in the meteoric feather designer's reflection that drops from Chapter 2, where we see Ashley continue to be humiliated and shunned. We also see her continue her moral descent as she loses her empathy and kindness, becoming colder and more angry and more filled with hate. You then have to go to Mind Maze Chapter 2. It's kind of a crazy, convoluted way to read the story, because then you have to go to Mind Maze Chapter 2 to continue with the story. And in this one we have Ashley's transformation into Lilith, where she meets the devil Nightbane and makes a deal with him for unsurpassed beauty. The story then concludes in Telosmith's Kiss, Designer's Reflection, that drops from Mind Maze Chapter 2, where she, as Lilith now and no longer Ashley, has won the Starheaven Swan contest and goes on to win the election for the Queen of Ninier. In this reflection story, she becomes the master of Nightbane, and he is now the servant, as she proves herself to be a greater, more powerful demon than he is. So I covered most of this story, Ashley's transformation into Lilith, in my Nightbane and Lilith video, and I'll put a link in the description. But we're going to jump back to Chapter 2 now. I think it's cool that you'll get to see how a MacGuffin works in Chapter 2, in case you run into that term elsewhere. You're like, oh, I know what that is. And we'll also get to meet a fan favorite, Lilith, in her literary infancy as Ashley. So, we end Chapter 1 with Nikki, Momo, and the player going to Ninier Kingdom to investigate a clue about Leonid. Nikki believes that Leonid is responsible for the destruction of Mirrorland, and he tells her to find the answer in his memory. So, with the help of sister and brother, Marina and Eon, who are the admins of the Ark that Leonid built, Nikki is trying to learn more about Leonid. To that end, Eon has found a clue about Leonid in a children's rhyme from a town called Starheaven in Ninier Kingdom. So Nikki, Momo, and the player leave the Ark and return to Mirrorland, to Starheaven, to investigate this clue. The chapter begins with Nikki yet again dreaming, or more accurately, remembering while sleeping. She remembers Leonid telling her, "You stand before me as my enemy, but you still can't save this world. The countdown to doomsday has begun. The key is buried in the past." So Nikki is looking for this key buried somewhere in Mirrorland year 0. Nikki had dozed off while riding a small ferry boat to the town of Starheaven in the near kingdom. The ferry is run by a girl named Joy. Joy explains that every city in the near kingdom has a story, and the story of Starheaven is the Starheaven Swan. Legend says that Lake Silvermoon, that's the lake behind them, Starheaven is on Lake Silvermoon. Legend says that Lake Silvermoon is a mirror left behind Leonid, the great designer, to reflect the star-studded sky and true beauty. And if you'll notice, that's not a true beauty. It's true beauty. And true beauty can summon majestic meteor showers, and wishes made will come true. And then she starts to sing the children's rhyme. That is the clue about Leonid that Eon found. And I know that many of us rush through this because the singing's so bad. But let's go ahead and read the rhyme, because this is the clue. Come, girl, come to Lake Silvermoon. The waves are your stage, the stars are your scene. Dance, soar, make your dream come true. Allow me to play for you. When the swans dance on the lake, wings become falling stars. We then learn that Eon gave Nikki a design book that is full of beautiful outfits that can be crafted as Nikki finds designers' inspirations. The outfits in this book that Eon gave Nikki are the chapter suits. So here you see I've got in the bottom left-hand corner, you have your chapter suit. And for example, the chapter suit for chapter 2 is Meteoric Feather. And those are, so there's this design book that Eon gave her, and the outfits in it are the chapter suits. The outfits can be completed as Nikki finds and interacts with a memory from the suit. As Eon says, each outfit is a combination of the designer's emotions and memories frozen in time, and they spawn the designer's reflection. So each outfit is a combination of the designer's emotions and memories frozen in time. So the designer's memories are woven into the suit and give it power. And as Nikki discovers and interacts with these memories, she finds designer's inspiration that first created the suit, and then she is able to recreate the suit. So I only had the inspiration reappears. I didn't have that one from chapter 2. This is the one from chapter 3. The chapter 3 chapter suit is Snow Night Hawk. But whenever you interact with a memory that is woven into the suit, a memory from that designer, then you get the inspiration reappears, and you can then recreate that suit piece. So when Nikki learns the story of the Starheaven Swan and hears the children's rhyme, she discovers the designer's inspiration, in this case Ashley's inspiration, behind the handbag Lonely Galaxy from the chapter suit. And now she can craft it. So Nikki, Momo, and the player head into town. Yeah, there should be a workshop in town. So Nikki, Momo, and the player head into town to find a workshop to craft Lonely Galaxy. And I think this is a really nice tie-in to the workshop in the design center. The idea that there are these workshops littered all over Mirrorland for designers to create clothes. So she needs more inspirations to complete the entire outfit Meteoric Feather. And then she'll be able to summon the designer's reflection for the outfit, Ashley's reflection. She'll be able to summon Ashley's reflection. Now, once it's completed, we can summon the designer's reflection. She doesn't know it's Ashley yet. She just will be able to summon the designer's reflection from this beautiful outfit that's in this book that Eon gave her. So, and when she was listening to Joy sing the children's rhyme, it interacted with the memory from that the designer had that was mixed in with this outfit. So this outfit is connected to the children's rhyme. So where were we? Okay, so she can summon Ashley's reflection. Okay, so here we are. And if you remember, designer's reflections make you more powerful in this world. If you desire power in Year Zero Mirrorland, then you want to collect powerful designer's reflections. And often, people seeking power don't have the best intentions. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. I'm not saying that that's where the story is going because I don't actually know, but there's definitely been hints dropped so far in the story that the power-hungry seek the Ark and the designer's reflection. But let's jump back to our story here in Chapter 2. Nikki is getting excited because she will also become more powerful as she completes outfits and summons the designer's reflections from these outfits. So, Nikki, Momo, and the player find a workshop and complete the handbag Lonely Galaxy. From the owner of the workshop, Nikki learns that physical beauty is all that matters in Starheaven. Beautiful people are treated with partiality and adulation, and ugly people are encouraged to leave Starheaven. So, of course, this does not sit well at all with Nikki, Momo, and the player. Whereas before, Starheaven seemed like a fairyland, it now seems unsettling, like visiting the neighborhood of the Stepford Wives. And she wonders what happened to the not-so-beautiful people, as only beautiful people can be seen walking around Starheaven. But Nikki puts these thoughts aside and returns to the mystery of Leonid and the children's rhyme. When she asks around about the rhyme, everyone mentions the same person, the musician, old Hendral. He is at the hospital, so off the group goes to the hospital, while Nikki wonders if he'll know anything about Leonid. At the hospital, they learn that old Hendral has been there since the fire 2 years ago that took place backstage during the Starheaven swan pageant. He immediately mistakes Nikki for a girl named Ashley. They quickly learn that old Hendral has Alzheimer's and is in his own world. He mistakes anyone who visits him for Ashley, but the real Ashley has never visited him. Since old Hendral is unable to give them any information, they have reached a dead end and they decide to return to the Ark for help. The writers never fully explain how she gets to the Ark, how she goes to the Ark. It says here, Nikki opens the virtual door in front of her and she's on the Ark. And I haven't found a good explanation for this anywhere in the story, so it's magic. All right, so on the Ark, Eon says that he found the rhyme in the data of a designer's reflection, and that designer's name is Ashley, which is, of course, the girl that old Hendral is fixated on. Eon theorizes that Ashley's experiences may have something to do with what Leonid left behind in Starheaven. If that's true, Nikki guesses that they will be able to find more clues by interacting with her reflection. This is the designer's reflection mirror for Meteoric Feather. It's not complete because Nikki hasn't finished crafting the outfit Meteoric Feather. Once she completes the outfit, the mirror will be whole and she will be able to summon Ashley's reflection during styling battles. When Nikki locks eyes with Ashley in the mirror, images flash in her mind of the fire 2 years ago backstage at the Starheaven swan pageant. The flames, the screams, the tears, and the shooting star. And then Nikki is suddenly transported into Ashley's memory of the fire. She confronts Ashley, but Ashley cryptically says, Ashley is dead, and you're next. So this is a very, going around killing people that show up in her mirror. Ashley's got problems. Nikki defeats Ashley with the power of designer's reflection, and she defeats her and extinguishes the fire by using the power of designer's reflection. She is then able to escape the mirror, and Eon explains to her what happened to her. And he gives her some warnings considering the use of designer's reflections. You are probably trapped in the memory of the designer's reflection. So she was trapped in the Ashley in the mirror. She was trapped in those memories. You are the new owner of this outfit, so it's possible that you were briefly possessed by the designer's reflection. Each outfit is a combination of the designer's emotions and memories frozen in time, and they spawn the designer's reflection. The emotions and memories they contain are often very powerful, so you must be careful and don't let them consume you or apparently possess you. All right, so let's keep going. I mean, he gives her that, and she kind of glosses over it. Nikki decides that she must complete the suit Meteoric Feather in order to summon Ashley's reflection and learn the truth about the memory. She thinks that this may be the only way to discover the relationship between the children's rhyme and Leonid. To complete the outfit, To complete the outfit, she needs to discover the designer's inspirations for the original outfit. So she returns to Starheaven to learn more about the suit, Meteoric Feather. Nikki asks Joy about Meteoric Feather, and Joy says that she saw the outfit 2 years ago at the Starheaven Swan pageant. And then she explains what the Starheaven Swan pageant is. It's a pageant that takes place here every 2 years. The most beautiful girl will be given the Starheaven Swan title. Lilith, the Queen of Ninier, was the winner from the last one 2 years ago. Nikki and Momo learn that the Queen of Ninier is elected by the citizens, and they choose by physical beauty. So they elect the most beautiful woman to be queen. Then Joy continues the story of the Starheaven Swan pageant from 2 years ago. She says that smoke started coming out from backstage just before the results were announced. They learn that this is the fire in which old Hendral was hurt. Joy continues, saying it was a very strange fire. Everyone thought the girl in Meteoric Feather would win, but she suffered serious burns to her face. Nikki asks if that girl was Ashley, since she's wearing Ashley's design, but Joy doesn't know. She tells Nikki and Momo to go to the police station to ask for more details about the fire. So, at this point in the story, Nikki is trying to recreate the outfit Meteoric Feather so she can summon Ashley's reflection once it is complete, and hopefully learn from Ashley the connection between the children's rhyme and Leonid. Nikki knows that Ashley, who has been abused and maltreated for being ugly, is the designer of the outfit. To complete Meteoric Feather, she has to find the memories that are woven into the outfit. She needs these memories to get the inspiration needed to complete the outfit. The girl who was favored to win the Starheaven Swan contest 2 years ago, before the strange fire disfigured her face, was wearing Meteoric Feather at the pageant. But Joy's not sure that that girl is Ashley. So Nikki and Momo are going to the police station to ask questions about the fire from 2 years ago. Nikki asks what happened to Ashley in the fire, assuming that she was the one that was burned and disfigured, since the girl who was burned was wearing Meteoric Feather, which is Ashley's design. But, so there we go. The police officer tells her that Ashley was the one who started the fire and that she died in the fire. This confuses Nikki because Meteoric Feather was her design. So the policeman shows her a video from 2 years ago. It's a police interview with the girl who was favored to win and had been wearing meteoric feather. She's in the hospital, her face disfigured from the fire. We learn that this is not Ashley, but Paisley. Ashley's parents had abandoned her because she was ugly, and Paisley's family took her in. Paisley tells the police that Ashley started the fire and summoned the devil. She states that Ashley is the devil. This is foreshadowing, and we see it quite a bit. Ashley being called the devil, Ashley even calling herself the devil. The fire is the watershed moment where Ashley leaves her humanity behind and chooses evil over good. And chapter 2 doesn't delve into that story. Chapter 2 is a bit misleading because Nikki soothes the pain that is a raging fire inside the designer's reflection of Ashley. But the real Ashley, now Lilith, that exists in Mirrorland year zero, was consumed by the fire 2 years ago, and now walks the path of the demon with her demon servant, Nightbane. But let's get back to the story in chapter 2. So, Nikki and Momo are stunned to learn that Ashley is the arsonist. The police officer hands Nikki 2 photographs from 2 years ago. One is the photo of Paisley wearing meteoric feather on the stage, and the second photo is of Ashley looking nervous, with a cold gaze, and very ugly. Nikki and Momo leave the police station, but Nikki says that the evidence is circumstantial and is convinced that there is more to the story. So they decide to visit old Hendral in the hospital again. This time when he mistakes her for Ashley, she doesn't correct him, and she pretends to be Ashley. She asks old Hendral about the outfit, meteoric feather. Old Hendral says that it is beautiful and that he will play for her. Okay. And that he will play for her while she sings on the stage. He tells her, beauty is more than just how you look. He says that her singing and inner beauty, just the way she is, that her singing and her true beauty will summon the meteor shower from the children's rhyme, from the Starheaven swan story that is the story of Starheaven. So it seems that 2 years ago, Ashley and old Hendral had a plan for Ashley to wear her designed meteoric feather and sing on the Starheaven Swan pageant stage and summon the meteor shower from the children's rhyme with her true beauty. However, something went horribly wrong. Paisley somehow was wearing meteoric feather, and there was a horrific fire that disfigured Paisley, crippled old Hendral, and seemingly killed Ashley. Nikki, here's talking about the shooting stars and the meteoric, that true beauty can summon the meteors. So Nikki decides to visit the designer's reflection of Ashley again. So Nikki, Momo, and the player return to the Ark. Nikki speaks to Ashley, trying to commiserate with her, but she's pulled into the mirror again. Ashley charges Nikki, consuming her in flames. Nikki uses her styling power to protect herself from Ashley's pain. And then she is able to witness a brief memory during the fire from 2 years ago. People are screaming and running. Paisley is trembling with fear. But Ashley has found power in the flames, and she says, "If evil is beauty, then why don't I become the devil?" Like I said, this is her turning point. She is choosing to leave her humanity, which was filled with abuse and degradation, behind. Nikki once again tries to commiserate with her, and Ashley says, "Stop thinking you know me," and kicks her out of the mirror. Nikki decides that... hang on. Ashley seems to have stepped out. I can't figure where I am. Okay, there we go. All right. So Nikki decides that she has to extinguish the fire, which is both Ashley's pain and Ashley's defense. And to do so, to extinguish the fire, she will need to summon the meteor shower. She has all the inspirations now to complete the outfit meteoric feather, and she believes that she can summon a meteor shower. And by the way, during this whole chapter, Nikki and Joy have been trying to enter the Starheaven Swan pageant, but it goes nowhere and distracts from the thread of the story, so I've skipped it. But after Nikki returns from the Ark, she goes with Joy to sign up for the pageant, and this is where we get back to the thread of the main story. While they're trying to sign up for the pageant, she gets a phone call from the hospital informing her that old Hendral has had a heart attack. Everyone rushes to the hospital, but they learn that things don't look good for old Hendral, that he's dying and probably only has 2 days left to live. Nikki comes up with a plan for old Hendral to see Ashley one last time before he passes, and in the process also help Ashley, well, the designer's reflection of Ashley. So she lies to old Hendral, pretending that she's Ashley, and it's 2 years ago, and the pageant is about to start. She tells him that she'll be on stage tonight, and that the meteor shower will definitely come. She asks him to look for her on the stage out at the window. And then they leave. And after they leave, Momo mentions that the actual Starheaven Swan stage is too far from the hospital for old Hendral to see her, but Nikki has no intention of using that stage. She'll make her own stage. Then they go complete the outfit, meteoric feather, so they can summon Ashley's reflection. That night, on the shore of Lake Silvermoon, they summon the designer's reflection of Ashley. Oh, there's Ashley coming out of the Gate of Heart. And they learn that at the pageant 2 years ago, the other contestants, including Paisley, laughed at her and mocked her, took meteoric feather from her, and broke her violin. After years of abuse, this was the final straw, and she's only full of anger and hatred. And she sets backstage on fire. Nikki tells Ashley that the fire didn't extinguish her pain. It only extinguished her hope. And she reminds Ashley that the original plan was to sing in all her unique beauty and summon a meteor shower. Then Nikki walks on water. Nikki walks on the water of Lake Silvermoon, standing in the middle of the lake, and the lake reflects the stars just like a mirror, and she starts singing the children's rhyme. She encourages Ashley to join her and tells Ashley that old Hendral is waiting to see her on stage. Ashley's tattered clothes transform into meteoric feather, and then Nikki and Ashley, looking like mirror images of each other, begin to dance, and in their true beauty, summon a meteor shower. Old Hendral is watching from the window of his hospital room, and the designer's reflection of Ashley comes to him and gives him a hug. I'm getting all emotional. I'm not crying, you're crying. All right, let's keep going. Outside, Nikki and Momo are watching the meteor shower. And Nikki says that the meteor shower has extinguished the flames in Ashley's mirror, and also left something fell into the palm of her hand during the meteor shower. It's a diamond in the shape of a swan. Old Hendral passed away that night during the meteor shower, And the next day, Nikki, Momo, and the player attend old Hendral's funeral. Lowen is also attending the funeral. Nikki shows Lowen the diamond that fell into the palm of her hand during the meteor shower. Upon seeing the diamond, Lowen suggests that they should work together to find Leonid, as it will be dangerous. Nikki agrees and asks Lowen if he has any information about Leonid, and he says yes. And he pulls out Leonid's manuscript. Nikki remembers seeing this manuscript in the hands of Leonid's designer's reflection, and using the diamond, they can see the strange writing on the manuscript. However, Nikki nor Lowen can read it. So Lowen gives the diamond and the manuscript to Nikki and tells her that he's going to find someone to decipher the manuscript. He asks if she would like to come with him, and she agrees. And that's the end of chapter 2. So we've seen Leonid's manuscript before in Twinkle Twinkle in the Twinkle Twinkle Designer's Reflection, but this video is already, 31 minutes long. So we'll discuss Leonid's manuscript in the video for chapter 3. And we're going to go ahead and wrap up here. I hope you've enjoyed this and it was useful and maybe hopefully even fun. And thank you very much for joining me, and have a lovely day. All right, bye.